Well, the aforementioned Steve Englehart, strength and conditioning coach. We were talking last night on the air about what a great game that BD was having out there, and we talked about how Steve has done a great job of helping build him up. And I said, the funny thing is, if you don't know who Steve is, you see him on TV. He's the big swole guy sitting on the bench over there. If he and BD stand side by side, they look like the number 10. I said that's how I described him last night. Oh man, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
We always love bringing Steve on, give him a hard time. BD, when you get a guy like Bangon Dak that comes in here, and I mean he's 6'11" and he's so thin he could walk through the shower without getting wet, right? You got to work on that. What's the first thing you do when you look at a guy like that, and what's the approach?
You pray. No, I think you look at him and you look how long he is. He has the longest. I mean, fibs and tibs, right?
Yeah.
He's the only guy on our team that can't fit on our leg press.
Is that right?
His legs are too long.
Wow.
And when you look at him, you're like, okay, he's getting stronger, right? I know lower body doesn't show it, but he is getting stronger in lower body. Upper body, he's making really good improvements. I think for him, it's just habits, and teaching him habits and discipline on waking up, when to eat, when to have protein shakes and different calorie shakes, and it's just really eating and learning. Teaching habits, discipline. I think that's the biggest thing in life is habits and discipline.
Sure.
And I think he's getting there. It's baby steps. Everybody thinks it's just going to be, hey, he's supposed to lift weights and be swole all of a sudden, right? And I'm like, it doesn't work like that, especially with guys that look like him that's ectomorph as well.
But every guy you've got to look at individually, right? And
Exactly.
say, okay, this is the body type. I mean, you get a guy like McKinley Wright was probably a joy to work with. Steve's told me one of the strongest athletes pound for pound he's ever had in here.
Ever.
That guy's put together, and the muscle's going to grow on him. You've got Elijah Malone, who comes in, he's 270 pounds. That's a different body type. So every guy you got to look at individually, correct?
Oh, 100%. McKinley Wright comes in, KJ Simpson comes in, and I won't forget. I was talking to the coaches. They're like, "What's your job with them?" Is don't mess them up. Like,
Right.
Bottom line, don't mess them up. Keep them healthy. And they come in, they're genetic freaks. And I mean, shoot, McKinley could have played. He could have been 200.
Yeah.
The way he lifted, but he couldn't play at 200. Doing how many minutes? So he was about 192, 190 when he played, and KJ Simpson was about 187, 192. And I mean, you have those guys that they make you look really good.
Sure.
And then you got guys that are coming in like BD and a little underdeveloped, maybe didn't have the strength conditioning that KJ and McKinley had in high school. And that's when it starts the discipline. That's when it starts the habits. And trust me, it's not easy in the beginning, but once they see the growth start happening and how they feel differently when like a 3-hour practice to a summer practice, they start believing in you, especially when the vets tell them how to listen to Steve, watch what we do. It makes it a lot easier.
We just saw Tristan da Silva in Orlando here last week. And Steve we got talking about Tristan, and he was saying when he first got there, his chest was concaved, and he was wearing this tight shirt. I said, don't wear that because you don't have a chest right now. But he's one of the great success stories, isn't it, about coming through the program and building and growing from the time he's 18 to the time he's 21 and leaves here. He's a totally different product.
Yes. He came in, and he had an older brother that played at Stanford, Oscar, and he had some, good habits already. But with Tristan, it was just a daily, every single day. It was all about getting better with him, and he took great care of his body. I won't forget when he went to the U19 Germany. He literally FaceTimed me every night and saying, "I didn't get enough food. I'm dropping weight. Don't get mad at me." And I'm like, "It's okay. Like, try and get some more food." But I understand because it was during COVID, and when he came back, it was. It took off because I didn't get a summer with him. But again, I won't forget that May. It was Pete and Tristan that were working out together, and coaches,
Pete Boyle,
Pete Boyle, and I never forget. Pete came in about 15 minutes early. We were supposed to start. It was Tristan's June that was in May because he was leaving for the U19s, and Tristan came in a minute late, and I said, "Let's go. We got to run stadiums."
Right.
And then Pete said, "What do you want me to do?" I said, "Well, you're his teammate right now. You run the stadiums with him."
There is kind of a love-hate relationship with you guys until they graduated. Then they realized what you were doing the whole time.
Yeah,
right?
I think they quickly learn. Some of them take 2 years. Some of them take a year. But I think it's all about you know, what your body needs, what you were talking about earlier. And when we do all our testing, our baseline testing, our 4-week evaluation test, the reason we do all those tests and not to put it on the board and look, we're getting better. It's not about that. It's about individually, are you getting better, right? Or are we getting the asymmetries back to normal? Are we actually building strength? Are we actually building power? Because once Tristan Da Silva got into his junior year, going into his junior year, he was strong enough. I mean, his squat, it was phenomenal the way he squatted. He put 365 on his back, and you're like, whoa, does he really need to be stronger than this? And when we started, force plate testing him, we knew that his power was down. So it was all about training for power. So his workout was totally different than anybody else's. And everybody's like, oh, I want to do what Tristan does. I'm like, well, you don't need that because you're getting pushed around. So we got to do something different for you. So it's all different.
It's amazing. We got about 60 seconds left here. What's the biggest technological change or advancement you've seen in this kind of training?
Oh man, I would say I would say everything that Vibe Performance is putting out in Output Sports. The data you get back from that, I mean, it's going to help you so much to individualize people's programs to help them improve. And I think that's the biggest thing is, you collect the data, but are you actually using it? And we're actually using it here, and it's helping these young men.
They're not just doing jumping jacks and push-ups anymore. It's unbelievably detailed when you go in there, and the individualization you see with these guys and their nutrition and everything, all the data they do. Keep up the good work, all right?
I appreciate that. That's one you said. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that, Mark.
All right. next time you talk to BD, stand on a chair.
Yeah, I will.